So can I tell you a story?
Yeah.
So someone that I know was accused by an ex-employee of sexual harassment. I think I've mentioned that on this podcast. Yes. So the decision came down. Have I mentioned that?
Just say it again.
I might have mentioned it on one of the Monday ones.
Maybe.
The decision came down. All the sexual harassment stuff's been thrown out. The judge saw through it all, that it was all completely fraudulent. So free and clear of all of that, as he should be, because he never did anything wrong. But because he didn't have the right paperwork in place to handle employee sexual harassment accusations in his very small business with a handful of employees, he's now liable, and I don't think the final costs have come down yet, but he's now liable to have to pay WorkSafe a whole bunch of different fines and fees and charges because he lacked a particular procedure.
Oh, that's bullshit.
And the person that made the accusation is getting a victims of crime payout in the tens of thousands of dollars, despite the fact that, as far as I'm aware, nothing was found in her favour.
How does that work?
I don't know.
That makes no sense.
But basically, the way it appears, as if I've understood everything correctly, there was no downside for her to make the accusation because all of her legal fees were covered. And if costs were awarded against her, it wasn't her problem. And by making that claim, because sexual harassment is its own thing, she was immediately eligible to get a payout, basically.
This just makes me so angry.
So as best as I understand the situation, she had a significant financial incentive with no downside to make the accusation, even though it was baseless, and it was found to be baseless by the judge. Meanwhile, she still gets rewarded. Meanwhile, the person that she falsely accused has to cover all of his own costs and is now going to get in trouble because he didn't have the right paperwork as a small business owner.
That just...
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Don't employ people in that age bracket would be my advice.
Yeah.
But obviously that's age discrimination.
Well, no, I don't think it's age discrimination. You look at the best person for the job.
Yeah.
And there's a certain level of criteria there. Like if you need to put pronouns on your resume, chances are you're not going to like this environment. So based on that, I'd say you're not the right fit for the job. You can scream blue murder about how that's discrimination. At the end of the day, it's up to the business owner's prerogative to find the right people that fit the culture of the company and that want to participate.
Yeah.
And if you don't want that, don't apply for the job.
And by the way, I see a lot of similarities between G and this other business owning friend of mine tolerating way too much for way too long. And unfortunately, no good deed goes unpunished.
It's funny, I'm literally about to make a video, you know how I do my little Instagram videos, and it's called the you don't owe people nice.
Yeah.
Now you might remember the phrase "just be nice" by a certain ex-business partner of mine. Has a charity called Just Be Nice, and I am of the opinion that if someone needs to tell you that they're nice, they're probably not.
Yeah, they're not. Yep.
And this whole nice culture that, well, you just be nice, be courteous, right? It's actually to our detriment because what that means is lower your boundaries so that I can overstep them because I'm putting myself on a higher pedestal than
above you.
And I think we've seen that a lot in the workplace. And so people, out of the goodness of their heart, you know, good temperament, good intentions, end up doing the nice thing and they suffer for it.
They're completely taken for granted. I could not agree more. And I think this happens in families, in relationships, in business relationships, in just general social settings where there are people who, let's take an intimate relationship, a marriage. There are people who go into a marriage and say, wow, we've said our vows. We've said we're together. This is it forever. The other person can't leave me. Therefore, I'm safe to bring my best and give everything I can and everything I have. Meanwhile, there's other people that say the other person can't leave me, therefore I'm free to take as much as I possibly can.
And I can get fat and don't care.
Well, or you know, take them for granted, not care about their needs, desires, ambitions, dreams, and become a taker within that relationship. And unfortunately, when they marry each other, then you end up with a really, really one-sided relationship. But the same can be true in business. The same can be true just in families. Parents can do it to kids and vice versa.
Yep.
You know, we don't always have control over who we choose to have some sort of a relationship with. And if you're the kind of person who then doubles down and goes, oh, but if I just keep giving more, no, you're pouring into a bottomless pit. And this is a lesson that I learned a little too late in life, is to actually say there actually comes a point where you have to be willing to be the bad guy and be the one that draws that boundary and then enforces that boundary if they overstep it. And to fail to do that is not being nice. To fail to do that is being cruel to yourself and to everyone else in your life and all the other loved ones that need you and depend on you. And in a sense, if it's an intimate relationship, it's actually being unkind to the taker.
I agree.
Because they're never going to learn to adjust that behavior, and they're never going to realize how much they missed out on in life because of how they treated people.
Here's a little tangent for you.
I've already sung it.
Yeah, but tangent time. Woo! So I came out of the womb as blunt as a meat axe. My poor mother, no. I just have this... Yeah, you loved that?
No.
That was visually.
No, I did not.
The visuals.
Carly, why do I do this to myself?
I don't have a very good filter, and I've always just said exactly what I want to say, right?
Okay.
So, and that might be my Aquarian traits, if for those of you who know what that means. So, but I was like that in Japan, right? As a little kid, I thought it, I said it, and there's no filter, right? And even into my teenage, and like that gets me into a lot of trouble.
Sure.
You say the thing that you're not meant to say, right? Yeah. This tastes like shit. You went to someone else's house for dinner. Why are your couches so ugly? You know, like all those like weird kid things. Anyway, but I've never really changed that, and people would scold me for it, but. It took me a long time to realize this, and it was my first business that really taught me this, is in business, and this is a blanket statement, but let me just finish my talk. You're either the bitch or the slut in the business. That's it, right? When it all gets boiled down, if you...
Is this like a Team America World Police? There are pussies, dicks and assholes.
Yes.
Is that
speech.
where we're going? Okay.
100%. 100%. That's a great speech.
I'm here for it. Yeah.
Right? And that's... So what I say by that is... If you get somewhere and you're nice and you see success, it's an automatic assumption that you traded sexual favors or you use your sexuality to get you there, right? Yeah. And I was accused of that a lot.
Well, that's what I did, obviously.
Obviously. That's why your knees are all dirty. I can't say that because I just got the worst visual.
Sucks to be you.
I'm not okay. I need some bleach.
Sucks to be you.
I need some bleach. What the hell was I saying? Right. So that's that. And then on the other side, because I was way too nice in my early company, and and also I was very green, right? The little 24-year-old me made some silly choices, and then eventually I started to wisen up. I'll give you an example. All of a sudden, I had this clothing company that was doing really well, and I had a lot of friends. Yeah. Friends I didn't even realize I had friends. Yeah. And they were always like, gimme. And then I got to a point where I'm like, wow, I'm giving away a lot of free clothes. And I don't seem to be getting a whole lot in return because when I'm asking people to give me a hand or help me here, they're busy. Yeah. And so all of a sudden the favors dried up, and so did the friendships. Yeah. And that was a tough lesson to learn. I was like, wow, okay. Yeah. And then I realized boundaries was very healthy. So I was like, no. And then, you're a bitch. So and this is a female, unfortunately a downside to being a female in business. If I do speak up, if I am disagreeable in any capacity, I'm difficult to work with. I'm a bitch. And so I resented that for a really long time. And then after COVID, I just realized, all right, you want me to be a bitch? I'll be a great bitch. Well, you've survived another episode and you're still here watching. So at this point, you should probably go and subscribe. And if you don't, you are going to be at the wrath of Spicy Carls. And whilst you're there, empty your pockets. There's a buy us a coffee button, and we'd really appreciate it so that I can show up every day and just make Topher's life an absolute living hell. Much appreciated.